Got to be smart to flick the mic around for me.
Everybody's gonna want a gate. See, I like the security because you can't get. No, I don't see. They, yes, they're all trying to.
Yeah, they're here.
Well, what's the point of this? If this is no offense, if
You can ask a question.
yeah.
They're here. Yeah, just look.
We try to call
Maybe that's down the hill.
This is right on.
All right, thank you, everybody, for coming to the Monday, August 4th, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Deputy Mayor Janice.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oops. Wish I brought that. I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing portion of the meeting.
I'll second.
Seconded by Trustee Dorfman. All in favor?
Aye.
First local law is one we've discussed multiple times in the past, proposed local law 6, amend section 240-6, the FAR covered porches. The intent of this law was to, I'll say, button up an issue we had with the bonus that we provided in the past for having porches, not counting towards the FAR, and that bonus was being used for accessory dwellings, and it was recommended that we button this up. This is our second public hearing on the matter, so I will first open it up to the trustees if they have any questions or comments. I look to the right, I look to the left. Are there any questions from our residents on this? That being said, no, I would like to, hold on, Jeff, because Jeff's going to get mad at me. I'm going to make two motions, one to pass local law 6, and the second one to do the secret for this. Do I need to read this as always, Jeff?
Just briefly, because it's a type 2 action for the purposes of secret having no significant impact on the environment.
All right, thank you. So I'm making two motions for that, the secret and for the local law 6. Seconded by?
I'll second.
Excellent. Trustee Collins, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed. Excellent. Second thing we have here is the application of Lamani to maintain an accessory dining pavilion that they built without permits during COVID and started to use constantly when they didn't have their permits. And now they're here to explain to the board why they've done that and why they need to get a approval to maintain this. And you guys can keep on talking. I just need to Chris.
Good evening, everyone. Taylor Gonzalez of the law firm Bertelli Deacon Toronto. With me today, I also have Wayne Muller of R&M Engineering, our traffic engineer, and Kim Polter of Core Group Architects, the project architect. I know you guys have seen this application once or twice already, so I just want to fill you in on what's kind of gone on since we were here in March. So we went to the BZA for the parking variance, and as recommended by this board, we first put in a formal parking agreement. I'm not sure if everyone has gotten the chance to see and review that. Do you have copies of anyone?
Yeah, we discussed it, yeah.
Okay.
Months ago,
Okay, I
Yes.
just want to make sure everyone has.
Yes, thank you.
So, the formal parking agreement adds 36 more parking stalls. Oh, I'm sorry. So the formal parking agreement will add 36 parking stalls on the neighboring property. It also adds a curb cut at the rear of the property that goes between the Lamani property and the neighboring property, so you don't have to enter onto Northern Boulevard to valet park cars. It'll cut down on queuing and it'll make it just a safer use of the property. On June 17th, we appeared in front of the BZA. We got our parking variance for 44 parking stalls. Condition was that we get our site plan approval and that we maintain this parking agreement. And that's about it. If you have any questions for me or either of our experts, I'm happy to take it.
Can I just clarify one point? I don't disagree with what council said. The additional piece was that there was a valet parking agreement as well. That
Yes,
has to be maintained.
yes, sorry, I should have clarified.
So the good news about this is it'll make the road safer because now valet doesn't need to pull out, drive around, come back. They'll be able to safely go through the properties so that their cars aren't exiting on Northern Boulevard. Okay, that's excellent. I wanted to enter something into the record here, which I'll give you a copy of. Even though our friends at Lamani said they wouldn't be using that facility on their own social media in April, they were proudly promoting the use of the outside facility that they were not supposed to be using. Yes, that's a surprise to you. But we had assurances that they weren't going to be using the property. And it seems from this lovely social media postings that they probably were.
Yeah.
So do you have anything to say about that?
I mean, from my understanding, they weren't going to use that portion, and from our discussions with them, that was a portion that they were only going to use in the warmer months anyways, so this is not something I was expecting to see.
No, that's why I brought it out.
Yeah.
All right, because that's one of my big concerns is
Yeah.
I was promised by the applicant through your partners that they weren't going to be using the facility, but obviously can't prove that they were, but it sounds like they were trying to advertise it to use it. So they kind of were doing things they weren't supposed to. So I would say that's kind of bad faith. And now they're coming in and asking for good faith. So I just wanted that to be put out there for the board to recognize. Anybody have any questions? No? I have, anybody from the public have any questions on this?
Mr. Mayor, I just, for the purposes of the record, and just to clarify, aside from being before BZA, just as the register of the property also appeared to village justice court, it appeared all of that, all of those violations have been addressed. So,
Right.
I just wanted to-
Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to approve Lamani maintaining the accessory dining pavilion?
I'll make a motion.
Maintain accessory.
Dining pavilion.
I'll make a motion.
Seconded by
I'll second.
Trustee
I would just
Dorfman.
suggest for the purposes of secret that this is either a type 2 having no significant impact, or to the extent it's a type 1 that also has no significant impact on the environment. The board can, as part of the motion.
Trustee Janice, sorry, Deputy Mayor Janice will say yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
I am going to abstain on this. All righty. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Make a motion to close the public hearing portion of the meeting at 7:13 or 7:10. Oh, that clock is wrong, so I'll say 7:10. Thank you. Seconded by
I'll second.
Trustee Dorfman. All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. All right. Next portion of the meeting is public comment portion of the meeting. Does anybody want to? Oh, thank you, Wendy.
Thank you.
Your release.
Everybody.
Does anybody want to make any comments on anything? That being said, no. Let's go to the approval of the minutes. I hope everyone had an opportunity to read the July 7th, 2025 Board of Trustee meetings minutes. I have reviewed it. There was no changes I recommended. So I will make a motion to approve those minutes. Seconded by, that would be Trustee Collins. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, no one opposed. Next are our motion to approve claims for a grand total of $348,529.41. As always, I have reviewed these, the treasurer has reviewed these, our village administrator, and those employees who are the ones who have requested these various expenditures. So we've reviewed and signed off on everything.
I have a question.
Sure.
I've been meaning to ask you this for years. Why are some of them bold and some of them not?
Those are the ones that I paid for.
I've been trying to figure this out for the longest time. Like,
The
what's
others are the
different?
ones that get paid today.
Yeah. And I'd like to say you asked that question before, because I think I've asked it. We've asked it over the last couple of years. We've asked it a couple of times.
Because I was trying to, like a puzzle, trying to figure out.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to make a motion to approve those dollars that I just stated. Seconded by
I'll second it.
Deputy Mayor Janice. All in favor? Excellent. Now let's go to new business. The first thing is 105 Wood Hill Lane, piers in the right of way. Is the applicant here? Hello, how are you? Excellent.
Hello, my name is Sen. I'm the contractor of the building we were here for.
Okay.
And I think the issue was the piers in the right of way. And just wanted to say that those piers were already here at the house and just renovated and the stone were loose and we just removed the old stone and we gave the new stones.
So you resurfaced them.
Yeah.
Okay. And they were there when you purchased the home, correct?
Now, we purchased the home, we renovated and extended the house, and those piers were already there in the driveway.
Yeah, that was my question. So when you purchased the home, the piers
Yeah,
were already
piers
there.
already there, yeah.
So Peter, those piers were there, you want to guess how many years?
I'd like to see that, I asked you to take some photos, you didn't bring photos with you, so assuming you didn't bring, I have photos. So I have photos, before and after. There's two driveways on the property, so that there were piers there, but there was, what's now is two piers at each driveway entrance, there was only one, if you see from the photos that I have. They are set back, they do meet they're under the maximum permitted height.
So I'm sorry, but you were saying there was a singular pier and then
Single pier,
they went and now built a second pier.
Right,
Well,
so they were the same line.
yeah, so they're basically the same distance back, they've been refaced, and then added the second one on each driveway.
Oh, I'm sorry, so it's a circular driveway.
Yeah.
Circular driveway, it was existing that way.
So their applicant is requesting to legalize two that were there and then to legalize two that they built
Correct,
without a permit, I'm guessing.
correct.
Have they done the necessary permit
They
for
have a
the,
permit application in, it's before you to allow or not allow those to be there.
okay.
I think the survey that we have in the application shows a single pier on each one, that was the pre-survey. of
They had,
existing
I guess, I'll call them, they had inner piers and now they added outer piers.
Are they the same height as the original? 'Cause the photo of the original looks a lot smaller.
It might have a little bit, but,
Some, maybe? Yeah.
they're relatively low, they're not gonna, for me, they're not gonna, hinder any sight lines coming in out of the driveway at that height.
There's no fence attached to them, they look fine.
Yeah, and then, like, they're set back enough, again, for pedestrians to walk if they need to get off the road and that height. The original ones, had lights on them, the lights are different
A
now.
lot of work to do.
Right. I mean, I'm not concerned about legalizing the existing ones. I'm just concerned that they went and built these without permits. And now they're coming here to ask for forgiveness instead of permission. So that's my concern. You know, if you're legalizing what was built there previously, I get it, but you added on to it. So that's my concern.
The house was renovated, right?
Yeah, but we had a chance and.
Rebuilt.
I mean, yeah, because I know the house, it used to be a very different looking house. So when you filed the new building or the renovation application, you didn't include these piers?
No. We didn't include that before.
it also looks like the curb cuts got widened, it looks like, at least on the one side where the old pier was, the curb is,
Well, that was part of the application.
it was, okay.
Okay. Anybody have any questions else from the board? Anybody from the public with any questions? Would someone on the board like to entertain a motion to approve the piers in the right-of-way at 105 Woodhill Lane?
Are they or aren't they in the right of way?
They are in the right-of-way.
Are in the right of way.
All four?
So,
Correct.
oh yeah, they
It's
are.
the first two they were trying to legalize, which were built.
So so on this survey, Peter, it's showing you two originals.
Yes, that's the original survey.
Right. So yeah, they're clearly way outside the
They're
property line.
clearly in the right.
So is there also an issue about some kind of, okay.
Yes, I was going to ask that if there is a motion to approve it, first I suggest a secret resolution, but also the board has in its packet a proposed waiver and indemnification agreement. That suggests that the owner should be asked to execute on behalf of the village, because anything that happens with this period should really be at their peril. Respectful. And that the village wouldn't be liable for anything as a result of any injury or damage to those piers on the village property. Just by allowing them to stay there, the village shouldn't take on any liability. So I suggest that that be recommended approval.
Does that also cover, say, the plow gets damaged because it hits this pier? Who's responsible for the repair of the plow? The homeowner?
I would hope the plow would never get that far off. the
No,
road.
but look, it can happen.
Yes,
Yeah.
it can.
Okay.
All right, would someone like to entertain this motion
I'll make the motion to approve this,
as well as the secret?
as well as secret.
Someone like to second this?
I'll second.
Trustee Collins? All in favor? I'm going to
Make sure you
abstain.
get a permit next time.
Yeah, I'm going to abstain because this is now granting forgiveness, and I don't want this to be a new rule in the village where people think they can constantly do this. So that's why I'm abstaining. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Oh.
and then providing a copy of the indemnification agreement to the applicant.
Please.
So that they can prepare this and submit it, so that
So the approval is subject to completion of that?
I would ask that no permit issue, keep condition on that executed agreement being provided to the village.
So, I'm sorry, what do we need to do?
That agreement has to be signed and executed and provided to the village before any.
Oh,
Fence goes back, or they have a pool.
For the board's information on the waiver, we typically also get a waiver anytime there's Belgian water or any kind of pavers
Yes.
that are in the right of way. And again, if a plow damages it, it's not our responsibility. So
Yes.
It's the same similar waiver
Yep.
that we use for.
And we've done this for other things in the right of way in the past. So this is not,
Other piers have done before.
So what do we do about the ones that aren't documented?
This is the one.
We haven't done it retroactively.
Cross-fingers.
We can talk about doing that retroactively. Potential liability.
okay. All righty. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Next on the docket, 24 Bonnie Heights, right down the block from Village Hall, the very, very nicely designed house.
Thank you.
Doing a great construction job. I see it all the time. This is an application for a decorative fence.
Yes, I'm Zach Moscott. I'm the homeowner of 24 Bonnie Heights. So I'd like to thank the Board of Trustees for having me here tonight. Per our conversations with the ARB, we discussed working with Peter on a decorative fence, which is why we're here tonight.
Let me just ask,
Yeah.
so you're talking about the gate or the
Yes.
fence?
It's the gate.
If I could jump in.
Yeah,
Please.
you do the narrative.
All right, so, they
It's my
were,
first
they
time
were
doing this.
before the zoning board, they're on a corner lot. So they were granted if you look at the rendering,
Mhm.
to the left, there's an estate type fence that's in the front yard. They were granted that fence in the front yard. For the gates, and what they also did, it doesn't show in the picture, they were asked to move the gates behind plantings that would screen that.
The fence behind the
The fence behind.
plantings.
We've done that on other properties on corner lots. For the gates, they wouldn't really want it to pass on that because they're not protected by landscaping, obviously. So we have a provision in the code where this board can approve a decorative type fence or gates, which we've done in another application recently. If it's deemed more decorative than rather just security type gates. So I can say that I've gone through a number of iterations with your architect, Paul Russo, on this to get to this design, which is like a lattice, which I'm comfortable calling it more decorative than certainly previous versions, which were a series of horizontal slats very close together. It looked like, I call it go away type look. In previous application, I was asked to deem it decorative, and on this case, I would deem this decorative type gate, and that's what's before the board. Both the gates and the controller will be on the property. The gates are set back. I was asked for at least 20 feet back, so the car can pull up and not be in the road while it's waiting for the gates to open.
And the controller will not be in the right of way?
And the controller will not be in the right of way. So I'm satisfied with the location of the gates and the design.
I was just going to add to what Peter said. This does not reflect the landscape plan. This is a rendering from a third party.
Mhm.
And like Peter mentioned, the piers and the gate are set back. We're doing plantings in front of the fence, and there's an abundant amount of planting and trees that are not reflected here also on the Bonnie Heights line, so that you won't actually see this when you're driving up. And I just want to add, for me, I understand the hesitation with the gate, but I have 3 very young children, and I'm spending my entire life here. And Bonnie Heights does happen to be a cut-through road. I've seen a lot of cars fly by, even through the stop sign. And there is a sense of security here for me because it is a corner lot. My kids do play in the front. We didn't change the position of the house with the renovation. So what's on the road happens to be a lot of our play yard, as well as what is considered the backyard of a corner lot happens to be more of the side yard. So there's a sense of emotional security here for me to prevent passersby.
And you don't think your kids will step over those 1 foot high shrubs right there?
There's going to be much larger
Oh,
trees there. Yeah. I'm sorry, this doesn't reflect the landscape plan.
So Peter, I have a question only because I'm intimately involved with decorative fences, having worked with the country club. And my recollection was that decorative fence, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not second guessing your judgment, and you're the expert, but this really, I really don't, I don't understand. The one that's existing on Bonnie Heights, there's no fence attached to it, but it is also not a corner. The one that was pre-existing, that homeowner, Mr. Pirelli referred to, is just a standalone gate, but it had an indentation in the middle to make it look more decorative as opposed to a gate. And that was one of the sticking points for having a,
Indentation, what do you mean? I'm
like
sorry.
what's the terminology? When it's lower in the middle than it is on the, it's not one height, straight
All right,
across.
the difference on that one, if you're referring, I think 170 number.
Well,
That one didn't go through this process, it went through the variance. That was given a variance.
the one on Bonnie Heights,
Yes.
right, but then Country Club
The country
also
club-
had to have the what is it
It
called?
doesn't, no, it doesn't have to have, it's just, the design has to look decorative. There's nothing in the design, it has to be a curve or this or that. It's just, again, it's my subjective opinion on what is decorative versus just a security type gate. There's a maximum height, there's a maximum opacity, 40%, and then there's the subjective aspect of decorative.
So is this a variance? What are we voting on today?
This
We're
is
voting-
not, this board does not hear variances.
Right, so what are we?
The fence, that's the
We're-
fence that you see on this drawing.
Yeah.
This fence here was already granted a variance by the zoning board. What the applicant is asking for is a decorative fence in the front yard.
The gates,
Gate. Yes, sorry.
the provisions of our code, to repeat, it is, they can have a decorative fence in the front yard that meets certain criteria, height, openness, and so forth, going before this board and considered a decorative fence.
So I guess answer Mary Jo's next question might be, because it was my question earlier, why didn't the applicant go in front of the zoning board for this gate?
That's the route they chose.
Well,
They could choose either, they could choose either route.
isn't the estate fence to the left in the view a variance?
They did get a
Yes.
variance for that. That's what I
Right.
stated,
They got
yes.
a variance for
Okay,
that.
so wasn't that, oh, well, maybe I'm misunderstanding your question.
I was saying, why didn't the applicant apply for a variance for this
Oh,
gate when they
Oh,
did the fence?
I'm sorry, I totally misunderstood.
Yes.
They
Sorry.
did
Apologies.
apply. And the Board of Zoning Appeals, in looking at the whole application, determined that with respect, staying with the fence, the estate fence, that they felt that that portion could meet the criteria because it would be screened, it would not cause any detriment to the surrounding area, and it would give the benefit that the applicants received. So the Board of Zoning felt comfortable under the zoning criteria to approve it. But as far as the gates, which obviously are gonna be, I realize you're saying screening will prevent people from seeing it, but I think the Board of Zoning Appeals view was, you're still going to be able to see these from the driveway. And they didn't feel that the gates, in their view, would meet with the criteria such that they could grant a variance, so they denied it. And in fact, I think that portion of the application ended up being withdrawn with the idea that the applicants could come before this board, this is the board that has the power to approve decorative gates or fences. The idea being that if they're decorative, if they're going to be visible, it's a decorative gate or fence, it's allowed in the front yard. So that's where I think the Board of Zoning had a concern. I can't speak for the board, but I recall being present during the meeting.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I'm sort of looking at, this is, although it's, as you said, it's, there's gonna be landscaping, but it's looking at a gate, which doesn't look decorative to me, but I'm no expert, granted, and a fence together, so two. And I'm thinking, well, your kids could play behind the fence, which is why the fence is there, right? Why is the fence there?
Well, there's a cool spot.
Like, clarify, you won't see the fence to the left.
At all?
No,
Because that'll be
it's all
screened by
screened.
landscaping. That was a criteria of the zoning board.
And there's
So
also,
any of the fence, the front, the side, none of the fence you're gonna see? So it's just gonna look like,
The
when you
fence-
drive down Bonnie Heights, you're just gonna see this decorative fence that's gate, sorry.
Yeah, you would only see it also if you turned right, because it is set back behind the whole thing.
there's also a fence along the left side of the driveway going to the house. Is that what I see in this rendering?
Yes, because of the pool.
So that was a variance, right, for a fence at the front of the house, front plane of the
So
house?
the variance was for this,
Yeah,
that,
all right.
Gotcha.
and there's a fence back here.
So he created the restricted zone for the pool by enclosing the entire property, which is legal in New York State.
And are you having additional screening on the inside of, or is that interior fence on the screen? I guess I'm
Tell me where it is.
It's right on the corner of Knowles.
Oh, no, sorry.
Interesting, okay.
So again, I think what's missing in this rendering is the landscaping to both the left and the right, which will screen the property. So you'll just be able to see through where the driveway is.
Right, and when you look through this gate, you will see lots of shrubberies on the left of the driveway, correct?
No,
There's gonna be no shrubberies there.
no.
That's what I was wondering.
Down the driveway to see that.
Okay,
Ms. Wilson is just seeing if she has the landscape.
Yeah.
okay.
It's on the east side of Knowles, right?
No,
Or is it the west side?
it's on is it, what, it's on Bonnie Heights? It's
North-
on-
Yeah, the north
Northwest
side
corner.
of
Northwest corner.
It's on corner of Knowles.
I just
Yeah, I
read
know
that
it's on the
this morning.
corner, but I forget which corner.
But not the
Oh,
new
it's
house.
that
it's the house.
northwest
house.
This is the one that's getting all the.
Yeah, so it is, that
The
one,
new
yeah.
construction.
The one that used to be a ranch that they've done all the work with.
Yeah, it's
That
probably the new house. Oh, okay, so
I
I see.
It is set back, and then there's gonna be all those plantings along.
So the driveway, is it on Knowles or
We're
on Bonnie Heights?
relocating it to Bonnie Heights, it's currently on Knowles. very confusing. My address is Bonnie
So
Heights,
that-
but my entrance is now on Knowles.
I understand. Okay, so that was confused, because I go by there all the time. So the entrance is on,
It was on Knowles.
Gotcha. no, it was on,
I don't know.
No, it was, the entrance was on Knowles, correct.
We're
That's what he
relocating
said,
it
he's
to Bonnie.
oh,
relocating
you're
to Bonnie Heights.
relocating it to Bonnie
It's
Heights.
Yes.
confusing because our address is 24 Bonnie Heights, but our driveway was on Knowles. So
Yes. Are you gonna reach out to the post office and get a change? You can, I
It
mean,
was very confusing.
yeah.
It's usually where the front door is. That's how they do
Oh,
it.
so it's,
Well, it doesn't matter where the driveway comes from. That's a material for the address.
All right, Marla has brought the file. Perhaps this document here will help us.
so are there any other decorative fences on Bonnie Heights?
I can't
Like
answer that.
presumably, a lot of these houses that are rebuilt are,
There are
to have little kids. I'm just asking if there, and it is,
Yeah, but only
so
on
you're
elder
right,
fields, I
it
think.
is. What?
I think you only have that on elder fields, that condition.
So,
And then Manhasset Woods also, I think.
Yeah, fields.
Yeah, the old Gotti house has, does
Yeah.
that have a gate? Yeah. Victoria Gotti's old house.
Do you want to see the landscape plan?
Yeah, I think that would be
The
very
only, the only
helpful.
thing, this is not the final landscape plan, because the fence has not been moved behind the landscaping on the fence, but you can see. If you see around the entrance of the driveway, there's sort of this robust planting, and this is all being replanted on this side.
Yeah.
The fence will now be behind the
yes.
landscaping.
Yes.
Grant, can you see?
You want to show them.
So this is at the entrance, this is landscaping and trees on either side of the driveway entrance. The fence will be put, this is not the latest plan, the fences will be behind this row, which is robust, at least six feet high.
It's kind of-
And the same along here, that's all added, so this is all screened, and this has sort of a dimensional screen around. This is the fence that goes back to the house. And the entire yard here is fenced. Driveway used to be off of the north.
So you certainly have enough room for your kids to play behind the fence instead of
yeah,
playing
a
in
little
the
big
front
property, it's
lawn.
probably 3 acres.
Okay.
It's a little over one.
All right, is there any questions from the public? And I see no one here from the public. I'm gonna guess there's no questions.
Can't fool you, man.
Gary, you have any other questions since you're now looking at something?
So why, why was it's probably architecturally, but why was the driveway, in other words, like for me, I would have been a lot comfortabler if this entrance was on
Knowles?
Knowles, because Knowles is a dead end and it's not a through like Bonnie Heights. People go down there every day and there's very beautiful houses, your house being like magnificent, it's gonna be amazing. But I'm thinking Kings Point, everybody has a gate, and this would be the only house on, to my knowledge, and again, I just ran down there this morning, I'll look again more carefully, but I think it's the only one with a gate, unless some of them are all the way back behind huge trees up the driveway, and you really can't see it from the road like this, you will see the gate from the road, right?
If you turn, it will be set back behind all of that. But yeah, if you stop at the driveway and turn, you won't use it.
So anybody driving by can't see it because it's so far back, it's 20 feet back, I'm
Well,
sorry,
it'll
that's
be-
stupid question,
it'll-
but.
It'll be 20 feet back, and according to the landscape plan, there'll be a lot of landscaping on both sides in the front.
You're not gonna see
So
it
you
approaching
won't
the home.
see it from the road.
You're not approaching the home, you'll see it if you stop at the driveway.
So the gates are back here.
Yeah.
The landscaping extends all the way out here, so it's really hidden unless you're right coming in.
Okay, So that's Bonnie Heights here.
Yes, you're not gonna see it.
So it's all the way
You're only
back
gonna
there.
see it right from this point, and then you don't see it, you don't see
I
it.
think you might push it on.
They are set back. That was your footprints. It's just the president has.
So like street trees, so these are actually right away.
Trees.
You may want to talk about some zoning that these have to be, has to be a
I don't know,
certain.
I'm not pretty sure.
And again, they're only, maximum is 4 feet high.
Right.
So it's not a.
Are you putting lights on the piers or no lights on the piers?
There are recessed lights within the pier.
Oh, so like in the cutout.
Subtle LED.
Okay, I was just
This
curious.
panel.
That's interesting.
And they flash different colors, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, I get red.
For the
Red when you
holidays.
shouldn't enter.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they green when it goes.
Green when it's go.
Orange for Halloween.
I have no other questions. If there's any other board members.
I mean, I
with
feel a
additional
lot better
questions.
now when I see the landscape plan, because this rendering probably was not the thing to show the board.
Right.
Because it doesn't look anything like this. So the rendering does, or the plan does show it set back, I think, enough. 20 feet's a lot. My only concern is the way it looks. It's a little, you know,
Gatish, not benchish. Gatish,
a little
not
heavy.
benchish.
I think, I mean, I'm an architect, so I'm, you know, it looks a little heavy to me.
Let's tell you, this is what we started with.
Yeah, that's like a
That's-
highway
there's-
yard.
there's
That's like for
Mary-
the highway yard.
There's the,
Down in North.
there's the-
Cattle.
the scoop that you left.
It's beautiful.
The hat.
I mean,
That
it's
we
effective,
made,
right? I think it's great.
He
That-
may said that needed.
I'm going to
Yeah.
defer to the other architect on it.
What do you think, other architect?
It's metal, right? This is metal.
Aluminum?
I mean, if it's done, I think if it's done very decoratively, I'm imagining, I don't know, Peter, but I'm imagining this is kind of like a woven metal
Well,
ribbons.
it's metal, and the advantage of metal, it can stay thin.
Rather
Like those-
than stamped out, you know,
They're
grid.
tubes. I would assume they're tubes.
Oh,
Well, are they square? Are they round? Are they, how big are, how big
I
is
just thought it was
each?
like a square tubes.
I think the look is complementary to the house and that it kind of all falls within that kind of vaguely Tudorish feel, right? And so I think the final detail on it for me is that like if it's mimicking what you would normally see as a diamond pattern in a window, for instance, in a Tudor house, you know, that has a delicacy to it. Obviously, it has to be structurally sound, but it has a delicacy to it that I think if that's achieved here, then it would be great. So if you want those were my 2 cents. But I'm imagining it could be flat stock.
I mean, if they're like an inch,
Bar
Gary, like,
stock.
if they're like, Gary, like if they're like 2 inches maybe, or is that too bulky, do you think?
I don't. There's no minimum, other than it needs to be some level of transparency. There's no minimum gap issue, is there? In terms of,
No, well, for me, I mean, you know, it's not a pool fence, so the pool
Right.
fence has a certain minimum dimensions.
is this coming before the architectural review committee? Or is this already gone through?
It went through me.
Okay, all right, so this is it. So I think, fine. I mean, you had the vision, or somehow the vision came out of you, this conversation, so see it through. I'm just giving my 2 cents.
How will you be getting your mail and your Amazon packages?
They throw it over to Gary.
I think he said his address always was 24 Barney.
Yes, correct.
No, but how
No,
are
I'm
you,
saying
how are you going to get your
physically.
packages and your mail if you have a gate?
We
You putting-
you
you
gotta
putting
give the mailman.
you
the
putting a
code.
mail?
Yeah.
US Postal Service can require the mailman has a code.
Yeah.
I'm just curious if there can be a pile of packages outside the fence and such. I'm just curious because
And
I
it's
know-
something you probably don't want that anyway.
I know I'm keeping
There's
Amazon employed.
Someone in the home all day who'll pick that up if there was
Okay.
anything. And I'm gonna have a mailbox and I can put a larger one to receive packages, smaller packages.
Well, come to us before you do that.
Yeah, of course.
Not in the right of way, right? Good, just checking. All All right,
I guess I'm okay with it. I just would have liked it a little less bulky looking. I mean, the design is fine, like Gary said, but it just seems like it's,
So we can't,
But that was
in other words,
the
like
detail.
Peter's already said yes. So,
No, Peter has
said yes. the-
approved of
Long
designs.
Recommendation to the
Yeah,
board.
thank you, it's a recommendation.
so we can
If
still
this-
say looks too heavy.
If this board would like the applicant to go back to the drawing board, I believe that is an option that we have.
Well, look, knowing how this works with renderings, there's sometimes what you see in a rendering is not exactly. Did they give you shop drawings for this to show you how they're building it?
I only have flat fronts that were,
Did they show you the dimensions of the style, the rails,
Right.
yeah,
And if it's been engineered,
because it may not look this bulky in real life.
So I have a quick question. Is this
This
life or
is how the
death?
computer renders it.
Is it life or death if we approve it today? Or can you come back with answers to what seems to be some of the questions here next month?
I would love to have it approved, of course, that's up to you guys.
I think it'd be helpful if we saw a drawing. Someone's going to make this, right? So
Yeah.
they need a drawing to make it.
So is that what?
Frank, do you have a dimension in mind on what you think?
I don't, but you know how the rendering softwares work. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes they render things that look bigger and thicker and darker than they really are in real life. So I'm hoping that the rendering is what's doing this, making it look like that, and that it actually is some finer.
Do you guys like the crosshatch? Because I know that was,
I think what's been talked about is the thickness of the members. What's the thickness of the members? Is that right?
What's the thickness of the? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know, is this a rendering issue more
This
than
is
an
the
actual?
drawings that I have from the architect. These were the options that were
Oh, okay.
presented. I don't know if they're exact.
So which one did we pick?
C, bottom left.
C. Oh, so it's kind of, they're woven, it's interwoven.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Um,
That's what I was suspecting.
Oh.
'Cause that's how normally you.
and they're not aluminum, they're wrought iron,
Yeah.
but they're not giving you the dimension of the, whoa, no, it's not good. Here, Gary.
So that's an architectural drawing, not a fabricator's.
Yeah, it's
Okay, I was
not
waiting,
shop drawing.
I was waiting. to
Yeah, I
get
have a
that.
feeling that the fabricator's gonna say this can't be done.
Yeah, I don't know how he's gonna build it.
I
think.
like the idea. I think the idea is good. I would suspect that, especially being wrought iron, it's gonna be heavy and that cantilevered out, it's gonna need,
A wheel,
yeah.
like we did didn't we do on the one on, Stony Town, didn't he put a wheel on?
I think it was a wood gate, yeah, they tend to say it more.
So there's probably two ways they're gonna build this. They're either gonna build it as certain members are gonna be the dominant members, and then they're gonna weld in the smaller sections that way, or they're gonna do like this kind of thing over the top of each other. How they're gonna intertwine that, I mean, look, it can be done in wrought iron, but it takes a real skilled person to build a fence like that, a gate like that.
I think the woven thing is fine. I think it's just, will it be structurally sound enough? I mean, you would normally expect a brace, a diagonal brace on something like that weight.
Yeah, they usually have them.
Yeah,
And does the
I think
woven,
that, well, if I could, I think the detail you're talking about, you're not gonna see from the road. Whether it's woven or whether
No,
it's a flat
no.
piece or whatever. I mean, we're talking about the design. To me, the details are not something, you're driving by at 20 miles an hour, you're going to notice one way or another.
I wish people drove at 20 miles an hour.
I mean,
How
We're
they
very
always-
transparent.
Well, there's a stop
I'm
sign,
gonna-
there's a
I'm
stop
gonna-
sign right there.
Yeah, that no one uses, but I'm gonna continue sharing and communicating with Peter through the whole thing. And,
All right.
You know,
I mean, I guess, you know.
all right.
That's the-
I'm
You
okay.
guys be it.
No, I think the fact that it's set back 20 feet is significant. And that's a lot. You know, so, and
That's for the
since,
Amazon truck.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Right. What's that?
Okay.
So 20 feet and hidden.
Well, screened kind of from the sides. Like, you'll only see it if you're basically standing right in front of it.
Or if you're one of the parents waiting at the bus stop.
You won't see it because if you're on an angle and it's,
Bus stop's at the corner.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you won't see it.
Across the street.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, would someone like to make the motion?
I'll make the motion to approve.
As well as the secret that this is
Yes,
type 2.
secret. No, okay.
Seconded by,
I will second.
that would be trustee Lewandowski. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to abstain on this one as
I'm
well.
abstaining as well.
We have a,
Should see if he can build it out of aluminum. It'd be a lot
Then
cheaper.
it does not
and
pass?
A lot lighter.
You have a 7-member board. So you have 4.
we don't have.
There's only 5 of us in attendance today. So then my recommendation is we table this to next month.
It's up to you.
Otherwise, it's not going to pass.
I made the motion, so yeah, I can't. It's up to you.
Can
Do it.
What can we do, then what do we do? He can apply again for next month?
Well, or with the board, normally, or often what happens when there's not a full board, the applicants offer the opportunity to put the matter over until there's a full board present. Having heard the vote tonight, if there's an application to withdraw the motion before the board and table it and let the applicant come before the board next.
So we have two board members out.
Yes. Unfortunately, one of our board members is stuck in court. The other one's children are all very, very sick. And I excused him so he doesn't get us all sick.
Gotcha. I'd be happy to come back with, I guess, the architect and the landscape architect, if that's where I'm.
I don't think that's
Nah,
necessary.
no.
I just think perhaps if you can get us the rendering with the landscaping, that would be better.
Rendering of landscape.
So then I just ask, is there then a motion to withdraw the motion?
I will make that motion then to withdraw.
And I think for me, I mean, I'm there all the time, but there's always people there. I'll just say, just show me where it's gonna be so I can, again, because I'm on that road every day.
Yeah, have the
So,
contract put like two
I just
stakes
feel
or something.
I'm abstaining, not because, frankly, I'm not a fan of that, but we're not gonna see it anyway, the way it looks, I'm not. But I don't want to deny it for that, because I'm not the expert, but I feel like I'm abstaining because I don't have enough information based on this picture, and I'm trying to picture it in my head. Rather, this is a big deal, I think, even though we're not gonna see it, and it's a precedent. So I'd like to just have more information before I vote on it, that's all.
So what would you like the applicant to do? Stake out where the
I'm still
two piers?
abstaining today. No, I'll just inform it. Right, there's always people there.
So the driveway where this will be is where that other gate is, where the workers are
Gotcha.
in and out.
Okay,
So I'm fine.
I mean, I'll identify myself. You won't think I'm a stalker. In my gym clothes.
Yes.
So am I coming back next month, or is this?
I'm not changing my vote. It sounds like Mary Jo's not changing her vote, so I'd recommend you come back next month so that we can have a fuller board to hold the proper vote.
Did we formally retract the
You have to make a motion.
I
to-
made that motion, seconded by
I'll second.
Ms. Dorfman. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So that's unanimous. Okay. And I don't need to make a motion have next month because this isn't a public hearing. This is just an application.
Correct.
Okay. Sorry to make you come back.
Thank you.
All righty, thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
The next item about the stop signs, we're going to discuss that later when Rich speaks because it's different moving parts. Roslyn Fire LoSAP, I sent everybody a note on Friday, I think it was, or maybe Thursday, about the Roslyn LoSAP. The fire department is looking to increase their pension payouts to their firefighters. There were 8 different options. It had to do with more years and more dollars, and then the combination of more years and more dollars. If this, what has to happen actually is the Roslyn Fire Department has to hold a referendum vote in each of the fire. I don't think you included in our packet, did you, Marla? You can print that back out? No.
You emailed it to us.
Yeah, I emailed it to you, but Frank's looking for it, so I don't think it's in the
No, I'm
packet.
looking for something else.
So this is really just an informative conversation right now. I'm not looking for us to necessarily hold a vote. If this was to move forward, each and every participating municipality, and there's many municipalities, including the town, a bunch of villages, and Oyster Bay, have to do referendums on this by those voters who are in the fire district in order to change their pension plan. I asked the fire district which of the 8 they were seeking so that I could tell the board what that cost would be to our taxpayers. And they weren't able to tell me in time for this meeting which one of the 8 that they preferred. So I guess we can have this conversation again next month. The concept, and I might ask the fire department to have to come in to explain this. They're looking to do this to increase retention and to help recruit new firefighters. And they feel that this is the most effective way to do so. And there might be some questions if that is the most effective way or not. So I don't know if anybody here has any questions about that I could possibly answer. All right, so we will decide next month if I'm going to, after I hear from the fire department, we'll decide if we're going to bring in somebody from the fire department to address the board with what their potential plan would be. Excellent.
If their pension payouts are anything like Paul Washington's pension payouts, they're hardly anything. There's hardly anything. In Port Washington, a 30-year, if you have 30 years in and you've gotten the points every year, your pension is like $600. It's ridiculous. They're not, for people who run into a burning building for 30 years and don't get paid, they should raise it. They really should, because it's hard to, Port Washington's having a tough time recruiting. It's not everybody wants to volunteer to do this. It takes a certain person. So at least, you have something to look forward to. It's not a lot of money, but it's a little something, but they should be getting a better pension after all those years. And that's I think 600 or 6 something, I think is the top of the pension
And
scale.
if you look at that
Washington.
Spreadsheet, the second document that I had, or actually it's the first document, it showed what the current payout is than the other 8. So it's just something for us to address, and we'll decide if we want to have the fire department come next month. If they have more of an answer, then they can come and explain it to us. All right. Next, Marla. She's requesting that we authorize attendance for 2 of our employees for the 2025 Fall Training School at NICOM up in lovely Lake Placid.
So in your little packet, every week, I'm sure you know that every year, NICOM holds school, and it's not really feasible for the 2 of us to go at the same time. So, I'm not sure it's just too soon for me to really look at this or deal with this, but I'm sure 2 of us would like to go. And we'd like to get through it.
Well, since we've approved this in the past year, I'll make a motion to approve this expenditure.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Wonderful. Next, Mr. Albinski. It's sports court time.
Yes.
Anything in here for that? Is there
So I just wanted to sort of bring this up.
Just introduce
start the
us.
conversation on this. So, occasionally getting applications for sports courts. Currently, we have a section in our code for tennis and other courts. The other courts is defined as an elevated course, would be like, I guess, paddle tennis or something like that. Our code now only allows those courts in R1 zone. And it has certain restrictions on it, screening, no lighting and so forth. So It's just, we have an application in for a sports court, and I just want to throw it out there to the board, for the, maybe we need to consider controlling that in zones. The term sports court probably didn't exist when this ordinance was written. Now, sports court could mean basketball, it could also mean pickleball, which has been a big concern in different municipalities because of the noise.
Yeah.
Whacking.
Mhm. Could even be a hockey rink. I've seen mini rinks.
Absolutely. So, I guess I just want to start the thinking process about how we might handle that, because it could, for neighboring residents, it could be an issue. Do we, certainly things like, in the tennis court has hours of operation. It also says no lighting on those courts, screening provisions, so forth. So, I just, again, just to start the thought process on how we might treat it, I think at the very least, we would have, if we're allowing in other zones, no lighting on the court, so it's not used late at night. And then, do we want to, like some other municipalities, make like the sport of pickleball, something even more, maybe that's only used in an R1 zone, perhaps.
Also, pickleball only takes up a quarter of the size of a tennis court. So it now can go in,
Yeah.
no quarter.
So not.
You could put about almost,
I haven't seen
it's a little-
4 of them.
maybe it's a
They're doing 2.
three.
Most places are doing two.
The country clubs
Okay.
are doing, they're taking two
So
pickleball.
Port Washington Tennis,
Okay,
that's
sorry.
what Port Washington Tennis Academy did.
It's two,
Double,
okay.
yeah, now this.
Yeah,
Right, so it's
Well, no,
easier,
but
it's
that-
easier to put a pickleball court in a place where a tennis court would never fit.
right.
Right.
Okay.
But pickleball's annoying as hell.
That's.
But so is basketball, I mean,
And
so
basketball.
Exactly.
we grew up, I mean, we all grew up, I grew up with a basketball court in the driveway. They're all over the village. There's courts in the front of the, and trust me, basketball's gonna be annoying too, bouncing.
Yeah.
Especially like my neighbor has a light, so 9:30 at night, kids are playing basketball. So it could be a basketball court. It could be one of these, they have the rubberized, that sports court that you
Those
can.
interlocking things. that
Yeah,
you
you
put down.
can play like 6 different volleyball and stuff like
Right.
that. So, I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's,
I think it's a good idea. So
kids need access, and
So-
you can't take away basketball courts.
between
Come on.
now and
Yeah,
next,
It's like un-American.
That's un-American.
so between now and next month, we could have something written and we'll hold our first public hearing on this, you think?
Yeah, I guess maybe I wanted to get some feedback on the thoughts, if,
Well, you and I discussed, and I think
You want me to shape something up?
Why don't you shape something up? And then,
I mean, are we talking about in other zoning districts other than R1? Is that
I
the?
think so, because we're getting it, an R2, R3 zone, it might be prohibited in the smaller zones, because really, the lot size doesn't really warrant it.
I just think it's just,
And
it's,
then,
And lot coverage and
and then,
permeable
yeah,
surface.
then
all
again,
that
I would
stuff.
add it specifically to lot coverage, because
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
you could, they call it a patio, but it's a sports kind of thing, we don't include, patios in lot coverage. So I think that's another provision, I would add that, I think across the board, no matter what zone we're thinking of including it in, included in lot coverage, so that gives some restriction that way. So if somebody has a pool, they may not be able to do a sports court in addition to that.
Right.
Unless it's a floating sports court.
Yeah, floated on the pool.
the old fashioned ones, the motorized ones.
We used to have a ping pong table for our pool. It used to be great. It floats, it had weights, and you could play ping pong like in the pool. It was great. And kids would,
I like it.
No, they're great. You can find them on Amazon. They sell them on Amazon.
So- I will make a motion to hold a public hearing on sports court amend chapter 212 for the September 1st Board of Trustees meeting.
No, it's.
September 8th, sorry, I'm looking at the bottom line, September 8th, thank you.
Because of
Yes.
Labor Day.
Seconded, please.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Janice, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you on that one. And Peter's not off the hook yet because Peter wanted to address our fence code. This is easy. Allow 6-foot fences for those properties that back the Long Island Railroad. Because we changed our code for that back up onto Northern Boulevard and by the
Yeah.
commercial areas. And I guess this was oversight. We didn't think about this.
It's fine.
I
make
just
them.
have a question.
Yeah.
I think it's my area of the village is the only one that backs up onto the LIR.
No.
What else is there?
Trustee Smith backs up on
His house actually backs up
Mason
on it.
and Pinewood.
They do too?
Whenever I take the tracks, I see
Oh,
AJ's house.
I'm not opposed. I just didn't know if someone had complained. That's all. If there was if someone had requested it or
No,
we're just mirroring what we've done.
we're just trying to get ahead of it
Just sort of
because
follow suit. that-
Yeah, it makes total sense. I was just curious.
Yeah, it's fine.
we probably should have thought of this when we changed that law last year.
Yeah.
And we just,
I was
Peter's
just
like,
curious if
hey,
there had been an issue. That's all. No, that's
just
cool.
to head off any variances. All right, so I'll make a motion to have public hearing to change our code of fences, allow 6-foot fences backing along the railroad at the September 8th Board of Trustees meeting. Seconded by
I'll second it.
Deputy Mayor Janice, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, next one, plantings in the right of way. This is Marla's new thing that she brought up that we kind of need to address.
Chose me, but I can talk about it.
Oh, you're the one who brought it up to me, I thought originally, no? About
No, I
things that are
think,
being planted too close?
Well, actually, it all started when I first got here with birch around that area.
Right, next to Lane's house, Neil
Yeah.
Smith's house,
Yes.
you know, and he was approved of and the things grew, that grown to such,
Yes, and
Yes.
it's prevalent in the whole village, and especially a lot of us walk around during lunch, and it's taking your life into your hands, no question, you're going into the road, people,
Yeah.
you know, traffic control is not, residents that don't have traffic control is not great. And I'm not sure how it happened with the corners, but it must have been based on a complaint, because it wasn't, you know, it wasn't me, but there are real sightline issues
Mhm.
with that, and, we have gotten complaints from other residents, and, more than one, it's not just one person. And then after the accident happened, although it had nothing to do with obstruction, the focus and security just, we just tightened it up. And it's apparent that a lot of these, residents have planted, or they bought homes that were planted 20, 30 years ago, but these things are now way into the, line of sight,
Let us say.
and they are creating danger. So, our code enforcers have been, out there getting, I understand, again, some resistance, people don't understand, well, I didn't do it, or we said it before, or the amount that they have to cut it back now is not pretty to some it becomes a very woody look instead of a green look. So I am suggesting that we be proactive, and for new planting or, new homes, that they can't, 3 feet is, you know, they have to go back 5 feet, 8 feet, whatever you deem is okay, so that in 10, 15 years from now, they're just maintaining, it's not gonna be that we're
Right.
asking. them to
If we get
come back.
proactive in enforcing a planting setback, in 5
Yes.
years from now, we're not gonna have to deal with that problematic house because they planted a green giant in the front yard that you should never plant in the front yard.
Or
'Cause then
weeping
that-
willow.
Well, green giants are worse because they just take over, then there's no way to trim them back.
Code enforcement is dealing with the issues that we have now, and I think we should get on top of what people are planting now.
So it's mostly shrubs we're talking about. not really
Yeah, I think,
trees.
to me, there should, especially on corner lots, there shouldn't be any shrubs in our right of way.
But it's,
Because that,
it's all over.
Well, it's not only an issue with line of vision, but it's also the same thing, the issue with the rocks being a lot
well,
of,
some of the,
you know, you're not even able to get off the road. It
some
got,
houses, you know, it's actually growing over the edge of the road.
Right.
It's
so
that
if
far.
you're trying to get out of the way of someone barreling down or making a
Yes.
turn because they didn't, you know, that's even worse, because
Well,
you
we
can't even
know-
get off the road because there's no place to go.
So that's why we want
So-
to,
It's like the Wood Valley thing where the stop sign just gets like eaten up by the,
Right.
yeah, you gotta keep moving the stop sign in the middle of the
I
streets.
mean, if I were to write an ordinance now, I would say any shrubs, we have to get permission for the village to be. Typically, in other villages, there's a 30-foot line of sight. If you have it on your property, anything within that 30-foot line of sight can't be more than 30 inches, so somebody can see around the corner.
Yeah.
We do encourage street trees, trees, the trunk, you can see around.
Correct.
But yeah, some of the intersections are just impossible. You have to inch up
Right.
As you get to them. And I know we have the history of some of the properties that go back many years this way, but I think we have to think safety prevails. And,
All right. So that being said, who's going to write this code for next month?
So I don't know that you would need, I mean, I can review the
Could it
code.
be a
This-
policy?
This is also just control of the village right. So the village board by resolution can say, no planting shall be X feet from.
All right, so then who's going to write that policy?
But your point is, that takes to your point, it takes care of now. But is there a type of shrub that 5 years from now, you plant now and it's in compliance, but then 5 or 10 years from now,
Well,
then you have that, are we looking to do that type of preventative? I think maybe that's what the mayor's asking, let's be thoughtful about, so we don't have to go back to the drawing board. It's a great, because it does come up and it is, like kid could be riding his bicycle and the car doesn't see it because there's a sign, at what point do we have to use common sense as a village and say, but they,
So I think we should have input on the type of planting, if there is any, to be used on those corner lots. Like I say.
Well, it's not just
to me,
only,
there should be nothing in the right of way on a corner.
but it's not only just corner
And
lots.
if it's on the property, inside of their property and it's in that sight line, we should limit the type of planting there. So, next year it doesn't grow to 5 feet high. And now we have to go, code enforcement back to them.
So let's someone draft a policy for corners especially, maximum height, so that hopefully when someone is planting something out of the right of way, they're not putting a green giant there that will
And
be too
whatever,
high.
consideration to the existing, problem corners,
Mhm.
It should be retroactive.
100%.
What we're asking, and, maybe, work out, give people time to do that landscaping, maybe time of year is an issue, that sort of thing. I think we consider that.
All right, so someone who's in charge of drafting this? Is this Jeff, Marla, or Peter?
And also, I do think you need to include not just corners.
No, it's correct, not corners.
Okay, we're covering that?
Not just
Yes,
corners.
not just corners.
Yeah.
Corners
are the most
corners
problematic.
corners are the worst for safety.
well, that,
But it's the other types with those giant bushes you mentioned earlier on Birch. And we have other areas where there's no safe haven for a walker, biker, or jogger.
so the thing about corners is people tend to put them there as screening because they want privacy, because they don't really have a backyard because they're a corner lot. So that's the other thing we need to be mindful of.
Well, they can push them back.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm just
again,
saying
you're
is
not-
that the height thing we have to look at and,
Yeah.
But put them on
Most
an
corners have room
put them on an
to
angle.
push it back and still give their screening to them.
Just angle them right.
I mean, I think as you get closer to an intersection, you should be low height, but obviously if you're
Yeah.
20 feet, 30 feet,
All right.
50 feet back from the corner.
So who is going to be writing this policy?
I can start.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Albinsky.
I think what might be helpful in that ordinance is do a little diagram, like a corner lot, showing the right of way.
Yes,
and
because there is an
30-foot
existing
sight line thing.
diagram that our code enforcer has that they use for the
Rocks
corners.
considered part of landscaping in terms of.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
Marla, we're not
We
addressing
we
that.
spent years,
We're not. Let's not address that.
we spent
That's
years on the
discussed.
rocks, yeah.
Thank you. All right, so that'll be for the next board meeting.
So the code does right now say that people have to maintain, and it says the maintenance shall also include the trimming or removal of any tree or bush that obstructs the line of sight of a person accessing a public street. Is determined by the superintendent of the building department. It goes on to talk about any tree growing on private real property within the public right of way, which is endangering, or in the opinion of the superintendent of buildings constitutes a danger. And it goes on from there to say that the building superintendent can direct maintenance as deemed appropriate. But I still think that this would work well with a policy that explains, here's where the village is, here's what you're allowed to do, this is what you're gonna be permitted to plant.
Right.
Yeah, get specifics to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so Peter will write this, distribute it before the board meeting, and we can discuss. We don't have to discuss it any
So-
further.
Are you suggesting this is supplemental to the current ordinance?
Yes.
Rather than a new ordinance?
Yes.
That this is just more prescriptive policy information?
I think so, yes, because right now the code already allows Mr. Obinsky to go out and say to a homeowner, you know what? I think this is dangerous, you need to trim it back off the corner. You just can't
Right,
stay
so-
there. So he can go out tomorrow and issue
Yeah.
notices.
We include code enforcement besides the wind company, which is just more realistic now. Right.
And just going forward, once we establish it, I think it'd be good to go through the village, identify all those
Yep.
properties.
Yep.
And send letters out. I did that recently in another village, actually on the topic of rocks in the right of way. Citing the ordinance and giving them, a reasonable time to correct. So, and that way, somebody said, well, you're telling me, but did you tell that person?
So we're-
kind of thing,
Right.
We're
Include
currently,
blanket and.
That's a great
equally
idea.
throughout the
that is a
village.
great
I
idea.
think also it would be helpful to include somehow in the message about, out of an abundance of caution.
Oh, yeah.
Given recent events, we're just trying to get ahead of this and just for the safety of the children, safety of this is what is, it's really not, it's
Yeah.
aesthetic, it is, but it's more, you brought it up, it's safety. It's a safety issue, right?
It didn't work with the
It's
rock.
1000%
Didn't work with
safety.
the rock, but let's try it with the trees. I think that it's true.
All right, next, tree remediation requirements. Marla's back on stage.
I'm back. Okay.
She's a tree hugger.
I am suggesting, I would like to be able to have the opportunity to, in my or Peter's discretion, if a resident has ample and abundant trees on their property, to offer them, if they're taking down a tree, a dead, whatever, a tree, to donate $500 for each tree not replanted to a village tree
Beautification.
and beautification fund, correct, whatever you want to name it. Where you won't, you're not gonna be losing trees, just not gonna be on their property.
So wait, how's it work now? So it's like you have to pay $1,000
It's a bond.
For a tree,
bond. So what happens? So you get it back when you plant the replacement tree,
you
right?
get back
And-
6 months after.
Right,
so that
proof
you
of life.
ensure that,
That it lives, right? Okay.
I mean,
So
it's
that
just-
won't change.
That part will
Or do
not,
we say
No,
that
no,
you're
no.
only going to get
In
back?
lieu of.
that part will not change.
Right.
This is
But
for instances,
so what
Go.
I'm saying, that part won't change, but the person that's donating the 500 won't have to give that bond, because we're gonna plant it. The bond is to ensure that the person who is replanting on their own property actually replants.
So the donation is for us to replace the tree.
That's right,
So the
So-
homeowner is technically paying for $500 for a new tree.
that is correct.
I thought it was going into a general beautification fund
Yeah,
that we
we'll
could
go into
use
a
for
fund.
other things.
I think it should,
There are
yes,
What's it cost to plant a tree?
it depends.
So like if we have to what's our rule on, do we have a rule on caliber size?
Yes,
if
we
have to
do.
replace
So
a
like
tree?
a 2.5 inch caliber tree.
At 8 feet, at 8 feet.
Come on.
Isn't that what they require, isn't that what she requires?
So now
Whatever we require by our code should be, that's what we should be.
So that's gonna cost more to plant an 8-foot tree than we're gonna get $500 for.
I don't think there's gonna be a plethora of people that are gonna take advantage of it, but there are people who really feel they don't have enough space to put another tree on, and they just don't want the hassle. It's not that low, I mean, I don't know that you want to incentivize people not to plant on their properties.
the
but
goal is not to incentivize people not to plant.
Right.
There are
So it's
times when people
Just giving them an
cannot
alternative.
plant.
Hmm.
If they're taking down, let's say you're taking down 10 trees,
Mhm.
you might not have the space to replant 10 trees. So we can recoup part of those trees in a beautification fund where we can
Why?
either, let me finish, where we can either revise the street tree program, we could plant on our islands, we could plant in the park, there's plenty of space in the park to plant. So we can use those dollars for other trees. It won't go in a general fund, it will go into a
Tree fund.
green fund, for green, to plant
So-
green
All of
things.
that.
So I'm all for getting a tree for a tree wherever we're planting. I think that's great. I do think, though, can we make it such that it's not like, I took down 2 trees, I'm not gonna put any, is there only 1 tree per customer, I guess, first of all, $500 per customer? And is it, or is it,
Gary, it's case by case because
right,
there might be, there are properties here where I know some of these properties where they have a lot of trees and they're cutting down a bunch of declining trees. There's no space to put up another 5 or whatever it may be. And this is not for everybody. This is a case by case basis where there might not be room for the resident to put those trees. It might not be practical.
Right, but what I wouldn't want to see, and maybe I'm just playing devil's advocate at this point, I'm taking down 10 trees and I don't want to replant any.
Well, that wouldn't happen.
This is not for that.
Go 1 for 1.
That's why this
So
is
it's not
on
how
a
we get
case by case building
Right.
inspector or the village administrator to make those executive decisions.
Okay.
I mean, because we had the instance where the house on the corner, actually the neighbor of the gentleman who was here earlier, on the corner of Bonnie Heights and Manassas Road, cut down like 75 trees. It was like,
Right,
There is a resident that has a triple tree, 3 trees that have grown in essence together.
Mhm.
They need to remove one of the trees. One of the 3 has reached the end of its lifespan.
and the other 2 live if you do that?
It's 3 trees that are, it'll, according to the arborist, it's okay. But there's nowhere to replant that, and it's not a tree that's split into 3, it's like 3 trees that have grown into each other.
right.
That resident has no space to put another tree, because actually you just replaced another tree that died and planted. So in this case, this would help that resident because they literally have they have a pool. There's no other place to put a tree on their property. So this way we would recoup some monies that we could use it for elsewhere. And that's the prime example. It's this oddball situation.
Yeah.
And that's kind of part of what brought this up, amongst other
Makes
things.
sense.
So we will, public hearing on this or no public hearing on this?
This would be an amendment to the code.
So I will make a motion to change our section 219-11 to add tree remediation requirements at the September 8th Board of Trustees meeting. Seconded by Gary, because he loves trees. All in favor? Aye. Wonderful.
Can you remind me again, so if I'm taking out a tree and it's diseased, there's no fee?
Of course there is.
There's a permit, but there's no fee?
No, you still have to pay the $1,000. You still have to put a bond up. Yeah.
There is I think it's $100 per tree
Right,
fee. If it's alive, it's $200 per tree.
okay.
The bond applies to all of that, and the replacement applies to all of it.
Okay, wait.
And the permit
So-
fee is there to recoup our cost because we use a third-party arborist.
So if
Now, let me go from the beginning.
Okay.
When you make an application for a tree removal,
Right.
you pay $75 application fee. And that is to cover some or all of the costs of our arborist, depending on which arborist we use.
Right.
The next is, once there's a determination, and you want to remove, let's say, 3 trees, and for every dead, diseased, or dying tree, you're paying 100. For dead trees, you're paying 100, for live trees, you're paying 200. So I should just dead and alive, I'm gonna say it like that, 'cause that's really how
Right, yeah.
she says it. So 100 per tree, that's the fee for the tree removal, not the application. So you need 75 plus the 100, or the 200 per tree, and then $1,000 bond per tree to ensure the replacement.
So what if somebody says, I'm gonna take 10 trees down, I'm not gonna replace them, they're all live trees?
So then they get tickets, and that's gonna be a lot more expensive. We explain to them that it's $5,000 a tree, up to 5,000.
But what if I come to you in an application and say I want to take them down? What does it cost to take down a live tree? It's
It's a $75 fee, plus $200 for the tree to take it down.
and then
And
1,000.
then $1,000 bond, which you get back.
Well, you won't get back if you don't replace the tree.
If you don't replace the tree, not only not getting it back, you're gonna pay, you're gonna go to court. That's an easy.
So anybody who takes a tree down, a live tree down in the village that doesn't replace it goes to court.
If they didn't leave a bond, I would it's funny, I don't know that. would happen.
Because someplace like Sands Point, like it's a flat, I don't know, what is it, 5,000 a tree or some ridiculous thing like that.
We don't give you the application, we don't give you the permit to take it down, unless you give us the deposit. And what you do, you lose your $1,000 and then we can replace it. At some point,
Yeah, but that's still not the fine. What's the fine?
the fine is going to court, and then Jeff can speak
The
to
fine is
the
up to $5,000
Per tree.
per tree.
Yeah, it's Sands Point.
And even if somebody's doing a very large house project and the cost is, say, $2.5 million.
They're not gonna care, yeah.
If the tree fine is $150,
Yeah, that's
it's cost of doing business. So,
Well, we had a client who took 10 trees down to Sands Point and said, I don't care, I'll write a check for $50,000.
So that's unfortunately what does.
Guess Sands Point needs to raise their fees.
Help you
Their fines. All right, ARC report, Mr. Albinski.
Okay, the current applications, we had 8 ridge driveways, that's exterior alteration, siding windows, facade. We went through some very specific corrections on that, so approved as noted. I put a note in there, their small addition that they did as part of that application bumps them over in the floor area. So they discussed taking that small addition out, and we would approve it without that, and then they would separately go to zoning on that. So a little bit of trying to help them move forward on their project on that.
Can you remind them that there's no Saturday construction next time you speak to them?
Sure.
They decided Saturday would be a fine day to do
They
work on the
have,
home.
they have just an interior alteration permit.
No. Yeah, which they
Wait.
shouldn't have been doing on
Did we
Saturdays.
make that official?
Yeah, months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Because people are still doing construction on Saturdays.
They're not supposed to be.
I didn't know that. I
If,
forgot.
if it's an existing project, then yes, but
Oh, okay.
this is a
New
this is a
permit,
new
no
project.
new
Anything in
permits.
2025 that started then should be
Gotcha.
happening.
Yeah, this is a new permit.
So I thought we passed it, and I'm like, I see all this construction, I'm like, didn't we pass this?
Yeah.
No, that's good, 'cause
Next application, at 1025 Northern Boulevard, that's the office building, the fire. They came in with revised drawings from the last time. We had a few specific comments. They're getting those to us, and those we're approving them. We did approve an application already for them to start the structure of it, and it was going to be the exterior was subject to our approval. So once we get the conditions, we'll distribute it to the ARC and so forth. That's they're right there, we're almost there.
which kind do you want?
These are so good.
We have 141 ready, exterior changes, from stucco to siding, we had some very specific modifications for them to apply with, they've already submitted those changes and approved with those conditions. 1053 Northern Boulevard, the Holiday Inn Express is changing to Best Western, so the signs, the same location, basically same size, and some a little bit smaller, are going to the same location with the new logo on that building that was approved. 53 Knollwood, the new single-family house, we had some significant comments on that, and we asked them to return, had to do with the scale, the portico, and some of the details on the house. And then 1073 Northern Boulevard, that's Rivian. They've been closed out on their permit for the site and interior work. They've asked to change the color of the building from sort of a tan color to more of a, just an off-white.
Isn't that like a limestone type of stone, that building? You're gonna paint it?
Yeah, I'm gonna paint it.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
It's like 48 coats. Limestone's gonna just suck the paint, it'll just get
Yeah.
painted, the next day, the paint will be gone.
And
How long have they been open now? They secretly opened up.
3-4 months maybe?
Okay.
Yeah,
No-
they were closed
No
out.
ribbon cutting?
No ribbon cutting. They just all of a sudden one day I'm like, oh, they're open. I just never noticed it.
You should do a ribbon cutting.
Never reached out.
You should reach out to me.
That's why I'm asking when they opened. I didn't know if it was just recently or a while ago.
And that's my report.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank the ARC for dealing with 1025 Northern Boulevard. I know that was a very long and arduous process. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the findings of the ARC from the July 28th, 2025 meeting, seconded by,
I'll second.
all in favor, except for Mr. Lewandowski. Aye.
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4, we're okay with. Okay. Thank you, Peter. All right. Attorney's report, Mr. Belinkoff.
You forgot Rich.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you know what? Do building first, and then we'll jump back to Rich.
There were 2 matters that the BZA took action on.
This way I can let Peter leave.
So
If need be.
I submitted a written report. One was the driveway that had been proposed to be 24 feet wide. Now allowed to really be more than a maximum with the 16 feet wide with a small curb radius of no more than 18 inches. And after discussion and after several meetings, what the board approved was a driveway that would be 18 feet wide down to essentially the street line, but then they can have a curb cut flare that at their discretion in working with Mr. Ovinsky to be 24 inches. So it would be 6 inches on one side, 18 inches on the other side, or 12 and 12. And the board felt that that met with the appropriate criteria. The second application essentially involved a garage. It will be a detached garage. It will be over height, and they required an FAR variance. If this was an attached garage, they wouldn't have been before the board at all. But because it was detached, they needed to request a variance. By design, the garage itself is set back further than the main house. The height of it is lower than the main house. There would be a lot of screening, so there really wouldn't be visible from the surrounding areas. And the board felt that it was well designed and really met with the appropriate criteria under the code. I'll leave Mr. Ovinsky to see if he had any.
And then they're also correcting, the existing house didn't comply with the garages, because in that zone, you have to have at least a 2-car garage, like a 1-car garage. So this now brought it up to code as far as the number of garage spaces.
So that was approved. And that's my report.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, Rich, you may approach the board. You had a lot of talk about today.
So, we'll start with the railing. The railing will be done tomorrow. We did a couple of changes over there. We upgraded actually some,
Who's never
I guess we basically made it up to
Like to know what they
18
are.
high now. So that's going to begin tomorrow. They powder coated, they were using our existing railing. They just basically put everything down into back to base and they powder coated and put that back up.
And obviously repaired where it
And the
cracked.
repairs that they needed to get. We are looking at putting a brand new handicap walkway. Also, the ADA compliant, it's gonna actually, it's gonna basically kind of do it out, it's gonna go. Right now, you see it just basically goes straight down. The new one, it's gonna come out more, it's gonna be more wider, it's gonna have actual railings going on both sides. I think we'll be doing that soon too. Let's see, what else we got? And we got roads.
And we're replacing the door as well.
And the door, oh yeah, the door too.
Yep.
That's coming too.
And we're going to be redoing some of the lighting for safety on that side of the building.
It's all with, hopefully, grant funding,
Right.
That's what I didn't know.
which I'm in the
That's fine.
process of getting. I think.
I'm adding to it.
Yes, okay, well, the lighting, then, yeah, we're doing all the buildings and get all new brand new lights. These are LEDs, but they're old LEDs. These LEDs are probably maybe 15 years old. You know, the new LEDs are a lot more brighter, and you probably don't need as much as what we have now. These things, they shoot out more, you know, they have a lot more better visibility when they're out there. What else we got in here in the building? That's pretty much in the building. Then we go to roads. They're hoping to do Stonytown soon.
So we had the kickoff meeting today with Metro Paving.
Metro Paving. And we're hoping to do Stonytown first, because we're also going to be basically, they're going to start from Pine Heights? Manor, sorry, Pine Manor, basically where the train station, right there where they start. It's going to go from there all the way.
So to be clear, we are not paying for that portion.
No.
Mayor Dono is
Mhm.
piggybacking on our piggybacking so that when they're paving, there's an economy of scale for both villages. And then this
What's-
way,
what's-
we won't have a seam
What's
between our
the,
village
what's
and
the
their village.
estimate on that, Joe?
On what,
The cost?
Stonytown? Well, it's all broken, we have the whole thing, but Stonytown, I think was broken down was like 160, 170.
It's pretty good.
That's
Very
what,
good.
yeah.
That's
That's
the
all.
advantage, that's the advantage of.
That's a
using-
lot. I would have guessed it was like 3 times that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a couple, that's like 2 miles, right?
No, it's about a mile.
Mile.
It's about a mile, yeah.
That's
It's
great.
a wide road, we got 30 feet in the beginning, then it shoots up to like almost 40 feet.
That's a
right
great,
around.
that's a great price.
That's including, we're gonna do the striping as well. I'm not sure if we're still gonna keep the same striping.
So,
And what about for the pedestrian path,
That's,
the running track path,
so what we also,
which people don't use, they do run on the other side with a no
That price does
shoulder.
not include the rumble strip.
do you,
Oh,
can I jump in on, okay. So what we did is we hired IMEG, is that their name these days?
Mhm.
What they changed the name to?
Cameron.
Lero, you're talking about Lero.
Lero, sorry,
Lero,
damn
yeah.
Lero. All right, so we engaged with Lero to help us do a safety evaluation of Stonytown, where they are going to recommend potentially changing the width of the road in order to maintain the current jogging path, or whatever we call that path, pedestrian path on the south side of Stonytown. And my request was to see how we can formally add a north side westbound bike path on Stonytown, so that people who are going towards the Plan Dome station will have a properly sized bike path. So if they're running or biking or whatever, it'll help protect them. It also, if there's any safety enhancements that Lero is recommending to slow the traffic down on Stonytown, we will use that. We were hoping to have that report today, but I guess it did not come today. So hopefully we'll get that report in the next day or so, with their recommendations. It's just to enhance the safety of the road and decide where proper striping should go. And this is like the perfect time because the road will be a beautiful blank slate. That's Stonytown.
that's Stonytown.
We also met with them today on,
Country Club in Brookside, where we have the water issue.
so we had an issue where the village expended resources to investigate a water leak that the water district claimed wasn't theirs. And after doing some additional investigation, we were able to prove that the water source came from the water district, which they remediated. So that road will be repaired, the country club portion and all the way down Brookside.
Starting from Hewlett, all the way down to Brookside, that goes into Farmville.
So that's part 1 and part 2 of this project. Part 3 is over at Ridge Drive and over Hill and Crabtree, Peachtree. That portion of the road, we probably will pave a little later because National Grid is still doing some remediation of their bell holes. So until that work is finalized, we can't repave that portion.
And then that third traffic island that's there, we're gonna basically cut that in half, and that's gonna be moved further.
So if you look at in your handouts, we also engaged Lero for this to deal with the intersection of Ridge Drive and Ridge Drive, where right now there's that one island and there's no, it's a little bit of a free-for-all of which way the cars need to drive. So we asked Lero to investigate it. And if you look at the handouts that Marla included in our packet, from a traffic safety perspective, they're looking to take the existing island, in essence, cut it in half and shift it a little east. So instead of having one island, we'll have 2 islands. And if you look at the second page, they recommended us adding 2 stop signs and a yield sign and some striping so that when cars are heading certain directions on Ridge, instead of not knowing which car has the right of way, we will have proper signage and proper striping to keep our pedestrians safe in that area.
I think we're waiting on the specs for that.
And yes, this is the preliminary drawing. So now that leads me back to our new business when I said we'll talk later about the 2 stop signs and 1 yield sign on Ridge Drive East-West. So we need to have a public hearing at the next board meeting to add these 2 stop signs to our code.
I did forget to Stony Town, they're gonna be doing that, I mean, it has to go to that concrete as well, that 20, 30 feet of concrete.
Right at the base of the hill, some of the concrete is damaged, needs to be replaced. And your favorite catch basin needs to be repaired in that area.
When you do Stonytown, are they gonna do anything about that fake asphalt curb that turns up, was it, what street is it where they made a curb like out of asphalt?
Isn't that a private road?
The private road?
Is that a
Chanticleer?
Chanticleer, I thought it was.
So when you go into Shannon, you make that right in that little private road?
Yeah.
No, it's right off of, it's right on Stonytown Road. It goes around the corner. It's like an asphalt curb.
Oh, that's a private road, you're talking, that's the private, they
They
did that.
just redid it?
Yeah, they just redid it, yeah, that's that private road.
Wait, that's a private road that intersects with Stonytown?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Private road.
That is the remnants of
I did not know
part of
that.
the Ricks Mansion, I think. There's an
Ah, I
old,
didn't
very
know that.
cool
Ah.
brick building. If Mr. Schwartz was here, he would tell you about it.
Oh, yeah.
But there's an old, very cool building in there. That's up that little private
His
road.
author's tour.
That's this
You haven't
Thursday.
seen him
That's
in a
this.
while.
Oh, I'll see him this Thursday. He's having
Ask if he's gonna have a book signing.
he's doing it this Thursday at the Bryant Library. He was supposed to have done it last
Yeah,
month
I'll tell you.
or 2 months ago,
Good.
but due to death in his family, it was
Right, yeah.
postponed
What
until
time?
this week.
is that?
I believe it's in my mayor's newsletter. I just don't have it in front of me. I think it's 6 or 7 o'clock this Thursday at the Bryant Library.
Have dinner at Felice's, so maybe I'll stop by.
You
Okay,
can
thank
buy
you.
a copy of the book and he'll sign it.
What's his book?
Well, so he's written 2 books. This is the first book.
Okay.
The first book is it's called The Pulaski of Roslyn, which is the Bryant Viaduct. So the history of that when it was built and rebuilt and all that fun stuff. And then he just wrote a second book
Yeah.
about legal cases, something to do. And actually Flower Hill is in one of his legal cases. And I forgot which one it had to deal with.
It was the,
Was it the Collard one?
No.
Collard and Row? No, I can't remember.
It was the towers, the cell phone towers.
Oh, it was the cell phone towers, that one. Yes. All right, so Mitchell's thing is this Thursday at 6 p.m. at Bryant Library.
Very nice.
What is it, a book signing?
It's a presentation of the Roslyn Bypass is one of the most significant components of Long Island's surface transportation network, stretching from the village of Flower Hill at its west end to the village of Roslyn at its east end. The stretch of Northern Boulevard has been compared over the years to New Jersey's famed Pulaski Skyway. Its construction eliminated one of the worst traffic bottlenecks on Long Island. So he'll be discussing that book and signing. So
6 o'clock?
6 o'clock. I've been waiting to get his signature on a book, so I will be purchasing it there. And I'm sure his other book, he'll have another event in a bunch of months from now. Yes. He's busy writing books all the time. I think he is working on a 3rd book, but he hasn't told me what that one is yet. So
God bless him.
I'm going to make a motion to have a public hearing on adding the 2 stop signs and the yield sign in Ridge Drive East, Ridge Drive West at the Board of Trustees meeting on September 8th. Seconded by
I'll second.
Ms. Collins. All in favor?
Ms. Collins. Aye.
Well, I was going to say deputy mayor, but I keep on getting stuck. So that's why I go with this. Thank you for that.
She can be deputy mayor.
What else do you have, Rich, on your rich agenda?
Basically, I mean, you
The
guys
paving,
have,
the path, the bikes.
That's guys got the report.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to think if there's any other questions anyone had on the paving. Now, the Stony Town and the Country Club paving might happen very soon, but we haven't got a date from Dennis yet. As soon as we do, we'll notify the residents. The entire village will send a supplemental little quickie letter out to everybody. But
the cement portion,
will happen afterwards.
well, when they do that, they're gonna have to close off, because I talked to John today, I forgot to tell you guys, when they actually do the concrete there, that section has to be closed off for 3 to 4 days. Like, you can't go there at all. So
Right, 'cause it's cement.
Anyone that's gonna have to go through.
Concrete.
Or they're just gonna have to
Concrete,
go
sorry.
around. So that's what he did tell me.
So, is there anyone who can do that before?
He's trying to see if he can do it sooner. Yeah.
Sounds like less of a nightmare for buses.
Well, that's what I told him, yeah. He said he's gonna try to push for that to come a little bit sooner before school starts.
Okay.
Because he did say that, he's like, that area, we're gonna close it off and you can't go on there at all.
So my question that someone may or may not ask is, can you do one side and then do a joint and do the other side?
You could do that.
Or is that not recommended because
He
of
said the
this?
only reason is sometimes people tend to still try to drive through it, I mean.
I'm just saying, so instead of closing the entire road, maybe we only close one
You
lane.
could do.
But ask if that affects the structural rigidity of that repair.
I think that piece is one solid piece, it doesn't have like a joint in the middle of it. As
Right.
you go further up, it has that groove to it, but it's not the track.
I think that's what we need to do. Hate to say it.
Well, so why don't we speak to one of our village engineer types and find out if that's a wise decision or not wise decision.
You'd have to close it at Bonnie Heights, right?
No, it's a 20-foot section, 30-foot section, at the bottom of the hill, basically. It's not all Mount Heights.
No, you would close the road at Bonnie
It's not
Heights so that
all-
traffic
right
wouldn't
at
flow
Stony Town.
past.
Unless
Yes.
you live there, you would have to close it.
The road would be closed to non-local traffic in essence. No through traffic, I guess. would be the
Right,
Proper
no
term.
traffic, you
Yeah.
have to send people down.
All right, so why don't we let's speak to our engineer and just find out if we can do a half and a half, since that's brand new
I think what I'm
information.
hearing is not really the engineering, it's not the structural integrity of the concrete. They're worried that people are gonna go around it anyway, which they probably will.
And then what happens is you get like a bus or something that tries to go around, they cut too short, and so he said, I'd rather just close it so no one can go there, but.
And the
I don't
other
think it's a-
direction-
Well, he doesn't live here, so I think that's going to be a big problem.
I'm gonna say, right, I have to agree.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Massive doors is too difficult.
it's a busy road.
The worst to come, we close only one direction. But
That's
let's figure out what we need to do, since this wasn't discussed earlier today.
It was just more of him, as he said, he's seen trucks and
I
stuff
understand.
come by and they,
Yes.
even with the tape and cones, they're still cut it too short.
We'll figure something. I just think keeping that road closed for 3 or 4 days could be problematic to those people who live there. And the goal of getting all of our other paving done is in the summer before school starts. So that's why this Stony Town and Country Club area might happen very, very quickly. When he has the opening, we're going to take it. Okay,
A question for Rich?
sure.
Yeah, so Rich, and Gary's probably concerned you as well, but, how much lead time are we gonna need are our planning's gonna happen in September with the Laurel Group, or how, did we finalize any of that, or this all still up in the air?
You guys reached out, we haven't heard anything from them, have we?
Gary?
I haven't heard.
I've talked to Kevin now about some other things, but not about that.
So,
We have a plan, right, for the,
I thought we had a plan for the 3 islands, yes?
We have the plan, but what actual plantings do you guys want to put there? Because he put different options, he put these 3 different kind of bushes, these 3 kind of different trees. You
well, I
guys-
think that's whatever the market bears when we buy things, I think is what we need. Unless there's a particular reason why we group some things, but I think, it might be availability issue as well, or pricing or whatever.
So do we need to, I think
think
he's
we
gonna
need-
be pretty busy, do we need to schedule him, now that it's August 10th, and And I thought, is your team gonna be doing some of the planting, or is he gonna do it? Are we gonna pay for a landscaper to come in and do day work? Like how, I don't remember if that was, I just don't wanna be talking about this next month and then it's October and we miss the window, so I just why bringing it up
We
today.
can plant in October.
I'm sorry?
We can plant in October.
No, I
Yeah, certain.
I realize certain things, but I would like to plan ahead now and ask these questions rather than talk about it next month, then it's October, then guess what? Nothing's about that.
I think he also said that he would have a couple of these guys kind of help us to.
So I think there's a lot that sounds a little loosey-goosey, maybe, Gary, could you reach out to him and see if there are like sort of his recommended plans based on what he thinks is gonna be available?
Look, we haven't met in about 3 months, so I'm sure everyone's confused right now, because we haven't
Right.
talked about it since then, so we should, start the conversation
So
and get going.
do you want me to have a meeting with him, or do we need him there? Do we need our committee there? I just wanna make sure that we're,
I do not believe you need the full committee at
I
this
don't
point.
either, I'm just asking the question. So the answer is?
We don't need to meet in person, but I think we need to have a conference, so it can be remote if we want. That might be the easiest thing to do.
Okay.
Just go over the
What the plan is, because then don't we have to submit what the cost would be to the board?
I'd like to know what the cost, this is not a blank check, so I'd like to know what this proposed plan is gonna cost, yes.
And then who's gonna do the work in case it involves some of your people, or if it doesn't, right?
Mhm.
Okay. all right.
Gary, you wanna lead that effort and talk to Mr. Nanley?
Yeah, I'll pay the board.
Excellent. Try to keep Rich in the loop on it.
Yep.
Thanks.
Anything new with St. Francis, or I'm assuming you would have told us if you heard?
Well, just that they, what are you putting in terms of their work?
No, that was the
The
island
state,
work.
DOT.
Well,
DOT.
the last I heard from DOT, they're gonna be done by fall of 2026.
So
They got a bid.
the DOT, the last update I have is that the bids were received and they're being reviewed by the state controller's office.
Did we see the final plan?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
some plan.
They're waiting for a kind of approval.
Did all of us see it?
Yeah, that
It
was
was
distributed,
sidewalk.
that was distributed
It was just the
very long time
sidewalk
ago.
through the thing, right?
Yeah, there were no plantings, just the side.
No, they didn't, they're not turning it like they were going to or any of that stuff, right?
A bid opening in June 2025, which occurred, and is currently awaiting New York State Controller's Award. So that's where it currently is.
I'm saying it was just the sidewalk going through the island, right? They're not turning it to make that,
There's sidewalk, there's a crosswalk through the
but it wasn't the
island.
original plan, remember?
They're adding, correct, it's not having that second turning
Right,
lane.
right, I got
They're
you.
going to be adding a sidewalk on the east side of Port Boulevard. They're changing a little bit of the configuration of the islands, the center islands. They're changing some of the signage with a U-turn allowed or not allowed.
Mhm.
And some of the queuing lane that goes onto Middle Neck from Port. They're changing that around.
Is that people coming off Middle Neck Road that are trying to pull into St. Francis?
I know, they do the drive across.
It's
I know,
It's like
yes. I see it every single day.
crazy.
Okay, and Rich, thank you for putting up all the flags again for the 4th.
Yeah, well, great, thank you very much.
Appreciate that as
I
always.
we saw that the hospital asked if they could sponsor some of the traffic meetings, the ones before and after.
They can do it, tell them do it every
No,
traffic
they
median
did.
all the way to like the Long Island Expressway, yeah. Okay.
Well, we did do it and they did pay for it. and
Yeah, no,
it
that's
was really, it's a nice improvement.
Yeah.
So-
Yes.
It'd be so nice if we could do the whole, from the hospital all the way to Village Hall, if we could do that whole
That'd be
island.
nice.
Oh,
Bits and
beautiful.
pieces will get it done. Just we have manpower issues at that point. Keep that in mind.
That's true.
My only thing is the LiDAR gun was ordered and we'll have it hopefully for the September board meeting. We might have a grand presentation to the police at the board meeting if it comes in on time. That was the goal. I have no other mayor's information on my lovely mayor's report right now. Any trustee questions or reports?
How are we doing with like enforcing? So I know we did the pods. which there seem to be tons of pods popping up all over the place. I don't know why. And covered cars with covers that don't have license plates. So from your house to Village Hall last week, you would have passed 3 covered cars
Mhm.
with license plates covered. There was
I,
one
since
on
the code department is not
Woodland
here, I can't answer that, but I know
Woodland,
we had a
Cherrywood,
discussion
and-
of them starting to enforce that, so that will be taken care of very shortly. If they haven't started.
And are they checking the pods to make sure? Because some people, there's the one on Peter. I don't know if you know, but the one on Wood Valley, that pod's been there since like, I don't know, before the summer.
I don't follow the pods, I gotta admit.
So I don't think anybody's checking out these pods because I think people just think you can just get one and put it in your driveway and you don't need a permit.
Well, I think we've been looking for it. I'll have to check on where we are with all of them.
Okay. Because the permit goes to the building department, right?
Yeah.
Like when I got my
It's
pod,
not something that I approve, it's just granted.
Oh, okay.
I don't review a pod permit.
No, Heather did it for me when I got my pod
Yeah.
this summer. Yeah.
All right, any other issues? No.
Tomorrow is National Night Out at
Yeah.
Lions Field. So interested in it, stuff for kids and neighborhood police, firemen interaction. It's being done in other towns as well. It's being done in Whitney Park and being done in Funky Reed Park in
I did it
Westbury.
last year.
Yep, and East
It was
Wilson,
nice,
I
though.
think
It was
is
really
done.
nice, wasn't
So
it?
this year is, I think they have some food trucks, but, different organizations. I believe it's from 4 to 7. So
Excellent,
National Night Out is tomorrow.
thank you.
That's nice.
And that being said, I will make a motion to end tonight's Board of Trustees meeting. Seconded by,
I'll second.
thank you, Ms. Dorfman. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. See you next month.
Oh, summer's over.
I know.
Our
sadly.
last board meeting this summer. Not technical, but meteorological summer.
Yeah.